Nice to see you, Ben.
Great to be back up here in Portland.
So earlier today at 4 o'clock, we had a special announcement. The Red Sox have extended their player development agreement with the Portland Sea Dogs for 2020. So more baseball in Portland. So Ben, tell us what the city of Portland has meant to the Red Sox.
Yeah, I mean, this is this is a tremendous affiliate. From the city of Portland to the front office, the ownership group under the Burke family with the Sea Dogs. I mean, it means so much to the Red Sox organization to have a fan base and a community that supports the team the way they do. And when I talk about the team, the individual players, the coaching staff, not only feel that love from the community, but when the Portland Sea Dogs are trying to run a business, and yet their first priority is helping players get to the big leagues and doing everything they can to make their stay in Portland, really top notch. So it's a tremendous relationship we have. We're really excited to announce today that extension and seeing the Portland Sea Dogs as a Red Sox affiliate for a long time.
And this is truly an extension of Red Sox Nation, the fans. I mean, look at tonight. This hot stove dinner has been packed now. Every year you've been up here now, it just shows the passion for people in the city.
It really is. I mean, I think, as Ryan, I'm sure will be able to attest upcoming as somebody who maybe hasn't played in this environment. I mean, the Boston Red Sox fans are a different breed. A little more passion, a little more attention to the game, and really being able to interact with the players at a different level than maybe in other parts of the country. And I think we're very lucky to have an upper level affiliate like this give our minor league players a sense of what is to come in Boston, even if it's a smaller slice, a few less media members in the clubhouse than what they'll see in Boston. But I think it's just such a great experience for our guys to get that feel before they get to Boston.
Yeah, and certainly, like you said, it is a little bit of a slice here, but the minor league game has changed where it's getting covered more in the minor leagues. So there is a lot more media, let's say even at Lowell to Portland to Pawtucket, because they're following these guys, and these fans know who these players are before they get here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a huge part of it. There is a lot more attention given to prospects. I think, you've seen it within the industry on the office side of things. I mean, there's a lot more value put on prospects within the last 5 or 10 years than maybe there once was. But I think along with that and with the internet, there's quite a bit of focus. There's a lot of information about young players who may be a long ways from the big leagues, but there's a lot of attention and focus on them now.
Entering your 6th season, you're a New England native. You get to work with the Red Sox, so expand a bit on your role with the team.
Just oversee the minor league system. We have our affiliates starting in Pawtucket and all the way down to our Dominican Academy. So, just try to be a part of a great team that puts our players in the best position to prepare for what we hope is their career here in Boston.
So some news was made this offseason involving some minor league players that maybe played in Portland.
Hadn't heard.
Yeah, there's a few news. Well, usually you don't hear it, right? Usually it's out there on the internet. But I mean, a win obviously for the organization. We do want to see guys develop, maybe get to Boston, but there's the other side of it that those guys can develop and help you land a Chris Sale.
Absolutely. I mean, look, our goal in player development is to make make the most out of every player's ability. Give every player the best opportunity to reach their ceiling, whatever that might be. If it's here in Portland, if it's in Lowell, if it's hopefully in Boston. And times like that it's a challenging on a personal level. I know for me personally, and for Carlos and others in the player development system who've put even more blood, sweat, and tears into developing individual players. But at the same time, we're all here for the same reason, and the same reason you guys are all Boston Red Sox fans, which is to win World Series championships. And I think as you can look at our big league team, we're still a tremendous commitment to young players and building internally. But at the same time, it's great to have an ownership group and a leadership group with Dave to, when there's a tremendous major league player out there that he's willing to go get that guy if he can help us win a World Series.
And a very young outfield with some pretty good guys who came through Portland. And you talk about three very young players that could be maybe the best outfield in baseball.
Absolutely. I mean, it's an exciting group of outfielders. I mean, I think from you really look at the core, the core of the team came through internally, and I think that is really exciting. And when you look up there with Benintendi and Bradley and Betts in the outfield for a majority of the last couple months, I mean, there's there's a lot of pride from the coaching staff and the guys that have worked with these guys, the scouts, that signed these players. It's really a collective team effort to identify the right guys, to the coaches to give them the right tips, the right mentorship, and ultimately, to see it play out on a big stage is a lot of fun.
And the win dance repeats. Now, is that going to be taught to all the outfielders in the organization now, all the way down?
We worked on an instructional league with our rookie level guys, and no, we'll continue to admire the major league celebrations, and we'll try to keep it straight and narrow on the minor league side.
I had a fan ask me this question last season, and I said I'd save it when I saw you again. Is how hard is it to scout players in high school and project them as a professional, because you're seeing them obviously at a different time than when we see them when they're somewhat of a finished product here as a professional.
Yeah, I mean, very challenging. I think our amateur scouts here in the States, when they're at high school games, trying to identify high school juniors and seniors, and project what not only they're going to look like physically in 5 or 6 years, what they're mentally, how they're going to be in terms of maturity and readiness. For the kind of pressures that are faced at the big league level, as well as the skill set. And that's challenging, but I think the international market is maybe even more challenging, where there's less information, and we were just talking about at the table, where you're trying to identify 15, 16-year-old kids to be signed at 16, 17, or 18. So the scouts have a really, really challenging job to identify the guys, the best players within, at a time where we all have so much development left to do.
And with foreign players, for some of the fans out there, what has Major League Baseball done to add to facilities, right? They've changed things now. There's academies everywhere. So every team really in Major League Baseball has better facilities for those foreign players.
Yeah, each team's in charge of their own academy, but every team has an academy in the Dominican Republic where a majority of players that are coming through Latin America make their first stop after they've been signed. So before they come to the Gulf Coast League or Lowell for the first time, they've usually spent a year or 2 years at the Dominican Academy, where they're taking some classes. Oftentimes, they're certainly getting quite a bit of baseball teaching, as well as physical and mental training.
All right, Ben, thank you. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.